So welcome back, brothers. So in this class we will be seeing about the third point as the conscience as the voice of God. Conscience as the voice of God. Beyond the voice of conscience, beyond the voice of conscience, we see God. We see God. All holy. God, all holy. But it would be going too far, but it would be going too far to look upon each single judgment of conscience, to look upon each single judgment of conscience as a direct act of divine intervention. It would be going too far to look upon each single judgment of conscience as a direct act of divine intervention. God has endowed us with moral faculties. God has endowed us with moral faculties. He established the order of the nature. He established the order of the nature which by use of the natural power of our intelligence we can grasp and understand as obliging and binding us. Obliging and binding us. In fact, God has bound us up. God has bound us up with it through our whole being. So the natural function of conscience is to make us partakers of the eternal law of God. make us partakers of the eternal law of God through the created nature. Through the created nature around us, and through our own rational nature. Through created nature around us and through our rational nature. So when you are speaking about consciousness, voice of God, we are not saying God is going to talk to you daily and we hear only God's voice. But instead that, God has given us the faculty, rational capacity, ability of reasoning, ability to judge between good and bad, and what is becoming, what is not becoming, and how to develop these rational capacities, our intellect. So all these are naturally given to us. So it is a different matter, those who don't develop it. And another matter is, after developing also, they don't want to put it to practice. That's why some know it is not good, but they do it. Not that they do not know. So it is not respecting one's own rational capacities, the reasoning capacities. So that's why we have to say, so first is the why God has given us this inner capacity, to make us the partakers of eternal law. To make us the partakers of eternal law. That's why it said instead of God being everywhere, God created mothers. So every one of us know, and every human being knows, the love of mother. Is it tangible? It is existential. It is a part of every human being. The love of the mother. So from the love of the mother, people think of God's love. So also, what is the eternal law? Through our conscience, when you obey your conscience, when you make use of your rational capacities, then you are taking part in the execution of the eternal law. So eternal law speaks to divine law. That's all. So here, as a voice of God is within us, it is constantly speaks in different situations. Also, our faculty of the rational faculty also should be intact. Those rational faculty or reasoning capacities differs. That's why decisions differ. Why the decisions, some take a good decision, some are not able to take good decision because of the difference between their rational capacity. So in the rational capacity, there is a very different. So that's why we need to have that improve that rational capacities. Our bond with the natural moral law, our bond with the natural moral law, our bond with natural moral law is an exalted participation, is an exalted participation in the eternal law of God, in the eternal law of God, manifested by our conscience, whose natural function it is to reveal our likeness to God, to reveal our likeness to God. So, through our conscience, the divine nature is seen in human persons. So, divine character and taking part in the eternal law and obligation to follow it. And that is what the divine character of the human existence is seen. So, conscience is a replica of a divine presence in human beings. So, that's why conscience is the sacredness, its uniqueness, its obligation. All this comes because it belongs to God. It is given by God, and God's presence is felt. So that's why this conscience is inside a natural moral law. So in our hearts, in our life, the conscience is representative of God. So the divine character is seen. So through that we are taking part in the divine natural moral law. So that's an important concept, important understanding. Our sacredness, human sacredness, comes from this divine sharing in the divine plan of God, the eternal law. If we do not recognize, in the decision of conscience, the direct voice of God, we still are entirely within the realm of truth. We still are entirely within the realm of truth. And sound reason when we speak of conscience, as the voice of God, some of us may have doubt. I never felt God is speaking to me. Suppose we say, conscious as the voice of God, I never felt God is speaking to me. What do you say to such person? Yeah, sometimes the terminology what we use may not be corresponding what others are using. See, that's why a good conscience, we say a sound reason. What do you mean by sound reason? Sometimes we say, I had a sound sleep. Sound sleep. That means deep sleep without any disturbance, relishing. So when you say over here, sound reason means a well matured reason, capacity, working well. So that's called sound reason. So if you are gifted with a sound reason, that is also considered as a good conscience. That's why our process of education, why children are sent within immediately after 5 years or now even earlier. They are sent from home to schools. Why? What is the purpose? Purpose is the child may develop the rational capacities. The child may develop living with others. So first aim of education is to improve the faculty of reasoning, rational capacities. So that's why the goal of our education is sound reasoning, developing the sound reasoning. That is mature reasoning, apt, which is becoming. So with that reasoning capacity only, a person is able to decide which is good, which is becoming, which is a best one. So otherwise, if this sound reasoning is not developed, then our conscience also will not develop to maturity. Then in the ignorance or lax conscience or scrupulous conscience, different things are done. Response will be differ. Response differs from person to person depending on the one's rational capacities. So that's why it is very much. So one may say, as we are saying, conscience as the voice of God. So our conscience speaks, but I never hear the voice of God. Suppose if you are following your sound reason, your rational capacity, you are following the conscience. So the term may be differ. Some those who don't believe, they may not call conscience. But as we saw in the Old Testament, they say my heart, my mind. So some other religions may use some other word. But all what we want to say is your rational capacities must work. The sound reasoning is a gift. Sound reasoning is a gift, which in other words is called good conscience. It is in the voice of God it is in the voice of God sorry, I repeat this one. If we do not recognize in the decision of conscience the direct voice of God, we still are entirely within the realm of truth and sound reason when we speak of conscience as the voice of God. Is okay? Then onwards we follow. It is in the voice of God. It is in the voice of God in the sense that we contribute something of our own, in the sense that we must contribute something of our own in the formation of the decision of our conscience. We must contribute something of our own in the formation of the decision of our conscience, which is right in God's sight. Which is right in God's sight. So what we are saying also, there is a personal responsibility and personal effort to put into practice these rational capacities. It is not that everything God has given and God will take care. There is no individuality. Capacity is there, but it depends on your individual decision to make use this capacity or not. So your personal contribution is a must. So there's naturally given and your personal effort and your decision, your option for take into consideration, and that is your contribution. That's why when we say our decision, it speaks of your decision. So that's why not everything God has given and God will take care. So we should not misunderstand the conscience as the voice of God. So capacity is given to you, and in the process you have the obligation to put into practice. Error is possible. Error is possible. Error is possible in our decision. In our decision, comma, but we are able to trace it. But we are able to trace it to its source. Error is possible in our decision, but we are able to trace it to its source. Sometimes we say, no, as the things happen, as the decisions are made in hasty or not much reflection, after some time, when the revelation comes, when we are enlightened of the situation, or we hear different versions of the situation or the events, then we come to conclusion that this is not true, this is not just, this is not right way of responding. So there comes the revelation and realization. So is in the process. So in the process of our evaluation, we come to know what is truth. This is a gradual development, and this is a part of life. That's what we are experiencing, and we will experience till our last moment of our life. It's a gradual process. So is the process is always on way. The power of conscience which impels us, the power of conscience which impels us to act according to our rational insight, is always the voice of God, is always the voice of God. In a certain sense, it is infallible. In a certain sense, it is infallible. What is the meaning of infallible? Yeah?
Never wrong.
Yeah. Cannot go wrong. Infallible.
Both statements are infallible.
Yeah. So, what do you want to say in saying infallible? As long as we are human, we are fallible. We can make mistake. But here we are seeing conscience not as a human capacity, not mere human capacity, is the divine partaking in the human persons. So it is so we see as a voice of God is a representative of God. That's why sacredness, and we also add as infallible. But we also should bear in mind, not every action or every decision is infallible. Suppose a person doesn't develop one's rational capacities, or doesn't want to see other side of the reality. According to my knowledge, it's okay. But when in the light of different aspects of the same situation, we can come to clear understanding of the situation. And some doesn't want to go. They don't want to take it. So at that time we cannot say it is infallible. So only we have to understand when we say infallible, the sacred side of conscience is there. The sacredness of conscience is there. And we have the obligation to follow it. So obligation also there is a possibility. However we are good, we cannot say always we make good decisions. However we are good, we cannot say that we will make always good decisions. That's the secret, this is the mystery of life. So we learn, we put into practice, we imbibe, again we put into practice. Sometimes we grow, sometimes we have to adjust, sometimes we have to learn new things, some things we have to wipe away old things. So that is the story of our human life. So as a part of conscience as the voice of God, the sacredness is there in our conscience. That's why we have an obligation. It is not only our charity. I am a good person, so I am doing generosity. No. God is present as conscience in your life. Then that life has to be taken care of. So that's why voice of God is within each individual. Each individual is an important person and a child of God. And that sacred element has to be respected. And that is how we respect it, not simply veneration. Respect means we have to develop our rational faculty. What is the methodology of improving our rational faculty? What you are doing? Reading, writing, discussion and evaluation, observing. And this is a lifelong job. It's not going to over with 1 year, with a few years. It's a lifelong job. So, in that, if your rational capacities are working intact and not biased with prejudice, and we have that capacity of opting for good. That's one of the beautiful element we should keep in mind. And sometimes we should not give up also. Whatever with good reasons I make is right. That we cannot also conclude that conscience is infallible. In particular case, in my case, I have the obligation also to develop it from day to day. Not is over. As we say, no, my 10th class is over, or my degree is over, or my seminary formation is over. So everything is learned. Learning is not stopped with our particular year. Constant learning is a must, and constantly we need to be enlightened by divine light. That is the sacredness of our conscience. So, as the voice of God also when we speak, is the voice of God, provided you respond with responsibility, with your intellect, sound reasoning. So, the reasoning capacity is God-given capacity. So, what we have is God-given. So, that making use of in a particular manner for benefit of others and benefit of self is a sound reasoning. So, that is one of the important element. But with all this we can say a person, well-learned person, well-experienced person, well-advanced in age also can go wrong. So, with that we should not deny the fact that as the voice of God is there, I can never make a mistake. We can also make mistake, but provided we also rectify. We have the capacity to rectify, and we also long for more illumination. That's why in the discussion we need to discuss. We need to open up. We need to take into other information regarding the situation or regarding the person. The person one is open, one who is gives more priority to God, and other is courageous to open up the situation. Some are those who are closed in themselves, are afraid of the situation. They don't want to open up for others. They don't want to open up in the in the moonlight or daylight. In the dark areas, our reasoning may not work. In the dark areas, we may limit to our own self-decisions. But in the broad daylight, things will be enlightened. That is the God's enlightenment takes place. So our conscience also works as the voice of God when we give priority to God's enlightenment.